They call it the Break It Early test application, and boy oh boy did it feel broken tonight as Fallout 76 encountered its first big bug, deleting the entire game. What's going on, guys and girls? It's GhostRobo, and we were supposed to have another wonderful West Virginian beta session tonight, 4 hours of fun, finally incorporating players on other platforms, but those plans were completely nuked by this giant bug, and the beta tag really lived up to its name as many players were not even able to play tonight, and some like myself got very limited time. So we're going to discuss exactly what went down with this big bug, the first major issue of the beta, and how Bethesda is going to remedy things. To their credit, they are doing something about it. First, here is how it all went down. Around 5:30 Eastern today, Bethesda support tweeted, "PC Fallout 76 beta players, we are aware of an issue with the client and are investigating. Do not click any buttons on the client for the time being." So everyone's all excited on the PC to get in, see how it runs, see how it plays. Don't click anything. A pretty weird request, but it highlighted that something freaky was going on behind the scenes, something really fragile and weird, and they wanted players to be careful. A minute later, they tweeted, "We're currently investigating issues with the Bethesda.net forums. Thank you for your patience." And then a couple hours later, around 7:15 Eastern, the official Fallout Twitter tweeted, "We are actively investigating an issue causing PC players to re-download the Fallout 76 beta. If you see a progress bar, please allow the download to complete. Thank you for your continued patience while we work to resolve this issue." Now, normally a re-download is just frustrating. If you have internet caps, it might be really frustrating, but it was mega frustrating tonight because there was a limited window to play, and the beta times have been kind of controversial because early on there weren't a whole lot. Now they're definitely ramping up as we move towards November and giving us plenty of time to play, but this was the first one for people on other platforms, and it was a pretty big bummer to find out that your 45 gig beta client had been deleted. And now, unless you had ultra-fast internet, you probably weren't going to be playing tonight. I have really quick internet, and even on the Xbox One side of things, I experienced the same issue. Now, I'm not sure if they are an identical bug, because I do know that Xbox One occasionally has this problem where a game updates, and instead of just downloading the update, it forces a full redown of the entire package. Now, that may have been what occurred here on Xbox One, and it could have been separate from PC, but regardless, plenty of players were affected, and some didn't even do anything. And it sounds like there was really no way to avoid this. Even if you followed Bethesda's request and what their recommendations were, it still might have been completely erased and required a re-download. Like I said, on the Xbox One side, I did nothing except hit OK on the update after the app wouldn't open, so it wasn't something that you screwed up. It probably just happened to you, unfortunately. So it was a major, major issue, and that's to be expected from a beta, but this one was just a little bit of a soft spot considering it was the first night of play. People were not happy with, already being worried about Fallout 76, wanting to try it out for themselves, and then the chance you have to actually see it, sayonara, your beta client is gone. I was surprised to see it happen on the Xbox One side of things, and I went through Reddit, and I found that some people experienced this much earlier in the day, that the update was forcing them to re-download the entire client. Now, I don't know if there actually was an update, again, if this is the same bug being spread across multiple platforms or something different with coincidentally the same result, but it was pretty annoying. Now, luckily, Bethesda wanted to make sure that they fixed this for players, and while they couldn't fix it tonight and they couldn't do anything about it for October 30th and that first other platform beta session, they did offer this as an olive branch to all excited players, and they said, "We know some users have been forced to re-download the Fallout 76 beta, and not everyone will be able to enjoy the game tonight. To make good, we'll be extending the beta for everyone on Thursday, November 1st, now 2 p.m. to 11 p.m. So previously it was a 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern session for 5 hours on Thursday, and now they're making it the largest beta session of all, a 9-hour big chunk for you to get in and hopefully get going and get through probably the first 10 levels if you're focused. Have some fun in multiplayer, check out the solo side of things, maybe even get wild with PvP, pick up some perk cards, open a pack, grab some good guns, participate in world events, and see what West Virginia has to offer. I think that's really nice of them. They have been responsive. I'm sure they saw the Twitter fire after the first beta test completed, and they said, hey, the next one's not for 4 days. And then they revealed this upcoming schedule that is a lot nicer on the eyes and on the controllers. We still have a November 1st, a November 3rd and a November 4th beta out there. Now a 9-hour session on the 1st, a 4-hour session on the 3rd, and a 7-hour session on the 4th. Add those all together, and that is 20 hours of beta time this coming weekend, and I think that's pretty cool. You're going to be able to get very far in Fallout 76 in 20 hours and get a really good taste of the game. So with the frustration and the problems and the bugs tonight, it's a huge bummer. But alas, just know that you have a lot of goodness and gaming time coming up soon. It's to be expected that betas will see bugs. This is a pretty big one. I'm not sure what else we'll see along the way, but their goal is to break it so that by launch mid-November, it's really ready to go. I've seen a lot of lag, some freezes, some complete loss of control, but for the most part, it's run pretty well for me, save for this giant re-download bug that stole about 3 hours of my beta time tonight. Now, before some of you who are already frustrated with Fallout 76 not being the real Fallout 5, let me state that this didn't erase any progress, it just erased the client. So it was an inconvenience for sure, and really screwed up some people's nights, but it did not take anything away from the game that is there, nor did it take anything away from the progress that I've made, we've made, everybody's made. So that is good news, I'd say, that it didn't do anything catastrophic if you want to try and look at this glass half full, and I still think this game is trending in the right direction. I continue to have more and more fun with each and every successive beta test, and I want to talk to you guys at length about how I feel the game gets more and more like a true Fallout. The more and more you play, the farther and farther you go within West Virginia, but we'll save that for another day. But for now, just know that it didn't do anything super catastrophic. It didn't erase progress or anything like that. I think it's just a bit of an awkward situation because it's a beta, yet it's the full game. It's a few weeks before launch, yet this is how many players of Fallout 76 are going to experience the first 4, 5, 10, 20 hours of the title via this break it early application. That's something that we don't see very often. Usually we get a mode, or we get a map, or we get a little section of a level. We don't get the whole thing under beta that then your progress carries over this close to launch. Remember, Fallout 76 was announced earlier this year and then put out this year, which I think is amazing. I love that Bethesda has started to really utilize that model for their releases. It just makes things a bit dicey when it's like, how much leeway do you give them, given that this is a beta, but you've already pre-ordered and paid for it, but you could restart if you wanted to, yet this is probably the character you're going to keep. It's just a very, I think, different situation, and so I understand the varying levels of frustration of like, okay, this should be working, and no, it's a beta, it's fine, but wait, I'm really attached to this because this is the character I'm trying to get into it. It's only a couple hours, so I'm just messing around, but no, I really want to progress through my character and upgrading and moving through the quest log and the quest lines. I get it. It's a very strange situation that is almost entirely unique to this game. I can't really think of anything else that would share a super close similarity to what we've got going on right here. And maybe you can kind of think of it as the culmination of all that has been happening industry-wide with early access and betas and test runs and trials, and here you have it with a AAA tentpole release that you can get in early under the beta tag, but it's still the game, and it's going to be a weird scenario where some people experience a lot of Fallout 76 like this, and some experience it from launch, and some experience it way down the line, and that might really dictate how you would review Fallout 76, which is where I think things get a little weird and why it's kind of risky to do things in this way. If you just had a beta session and it was like, hey, mess around with a character, a preset character, and then you got to create your full character at launch, that's a different story. But the good and bad of allowing you to carry everything over and feel like this is meaningful gaming time within the beta is that you playing now and having your client being deleted or experiencing lag or having a total freeze or missing out on some hours or having it be very stilted and you get to play a few hours here and then a few hours later in the week, or you miss a session and you're very distanced from your character and the story plot / what's going on in the world, I think that's going to affect your review / perception / experience of the title depending on when you get in. And that's true for many games, especially online titles, depending on how polished they are, what kind of server issues they experience. This one just seems to have all of that magnified, intensified, and emphasized because of this super unique early structure that they have chosen to roll out, which I still feel is a fun way to do it because I'm getting Fallout 76 going early and I can carry it over. It just comes with some potential consequences. But did you guys experience the re-download? What platform were you on? Did you see anything else weird? And how do you feel knowing that they are adding all this extra time? Does that make up for the fact that you weren't able to get in? Or did you have plans set aside and you were really excited and pumped, and this just added more upset to an already shaky start for Fallout 76 amongst some of its most hardcore fans? Let me know what you're thinking in the comments down below, everybody. Hope you're having a fantastic day. I'll be back with more beta action and coverage as this continues, and I'll keep you posted on any big bugs that are breaking it. Until then, thanks so much for watching. Fantastic day, everybody. I love you a lot. Drink some hot chocolate, and we will see you all later.